Okay, so today I'm going to be jumping into some of the most commonly asked questions that I get regarding my move abroad, and let's just hop right into it. Hey beautiful, welcome back to Zahara's Living, where self-care meets adventure, lifestyle, and play. I'm your girl, Rebecca Zahara, and baby, if you're new here, welcome. Okay, go ahead and click that notification button, like, comment, and subscribe. And maybe if you've been here before, well, welcome back. So I'm just gonna answer a few questions that I get asked often. If you have any additional questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to address them. However, I do feel like in my first video I did go over a good amount of details, so if I haven't mentioned it or if I don't mention it in this video, I may have mentioned it there. Okay, so let's get right into these questions. Okay, let's talk about it. So I do have them written down here. First question I have here is why Mexico, which I did answer this in my initial video, but I will address it again here. I wanted to move to a Spanish-speaking country, and I also didn't want to initially move too far because I will need to fly back and forth between here in the United States at least quarterly. So I just wanted to be somewhere that was pretty close. First coming, when I first came here, I only stayed for 4 months, right? So I also wanted to make sure that I was somewhere that I've been to. I've been to this country multiple times. I've visited different areas. And so it was really just a no-brainer for me. So that's why. If I have a visa, I do not have a visa, but I do plan on getting my residency while I'm here. That's something I do plan on working on soon. I do plan on getting my residency here. However, I am a United States citizen, and because of that, we're able to travel to certain countries. Some countries require visas, other countries won't, but there will be an amount of time that you can stay per country that you're in. So this is why I said in the other video, it's really important to do your research. Two questions. Did I already know Spanish? So did I already know Spanish? And then someone else asked, how did you navigate without knowing the language? So I didn't take Spanish in school. I didn't grow up learning Spanish. However, my mother did speak Spanish. She spoke a few languages. And so she taught us Haitian Creole and some French, and then I also took French in school. And obviously I learned English because I lived in the United States. And I didn't learn Spanish though. So I started teaching myself Spanish via Duolingo and just practicing. So no, to answer the first question, I did not already know Spanish. And how did I navigate without knowing the language? So before I came here, I started learning. It is helpful being as though I have a point of reference in other languages. That's allowed me to kind of understand and pick up the language a lot quicker. You know, like anything else that you want to be good at, that you know nothing. You practice and you get better, and you ask for help, and people are kind to assist, and you eventually learn over time. So I'm not fluent, pero estoy aprendiendo español. I've gotten a lot better from living here, and I go out pretty often. So whether I'm dropping off laundry, whether I'm ordering a taxi, whether I'm ordering off a menu or whatever, even when I went to go get my floral bouquet last week, I spoke to the lady all in Spanish, and I realized there were some gaps and things that I wanted to say, but she was still able to pick up what I was saying. And then I was asking her questions like, how do I say this? And then, you know, if people see that you are willing to learn, they're usually willing to help. So that's how I'm learning. Before coming here though, I did make sure that I knew some basic things like ¿Dónde está el baño? I need to know. I asked, what else did I learn? How to use the bathroom. Where is this, you know, where is XYZ, like the most common places that I want to go to. And just some basic things in terms of direction, learning how to order off a menu, things like that you feel like you ask pretty often. how to say your name, how to introduce yourself, things like that. But I will say, in learning and picking up Spanish prior to coming here, I was using Duolingo. Duolingo's free if you they do have a free tier. So use free resources, watch shows in Spanish, or watch telenovela, or watch your shows in English and have a Spanish translation, or XYZ, you know what I mean, vice versa. I do a bit of all of those things to learn, along with speaking with people. And then there are also some other apps. I have a list of them screenshotted somewhere, but I know Hello Talk is one. But yeah, there's some other options where you can go live and speak with native speakers and practice. Now, next we have, do I have anxiety about stability? And I think this is such a good question, because when I came here, I told you guys I had no job. I was laid off, and I had moved into an apartment I really should not have moved into, and I put so much money into an apartment that I was only in for 3 months. And I won't say that I regret the decision, but I will say I would never do no dumb shit like that again. So, because I could have saved that money and it just would have went so much further had I had that extra money. But like I said, I left with savings, and I only had an Airbnb for 30 months. And honestly, once I came here, any anxiety that I had kind of went away. And I just feel like it's part of it is just the energetic difference in living abroad, as well as the social standards, in terms of, socially and culturally what people around you prioritize. It was a shift. In even a smaller way that I noticed the shift was in New York, or in the States. I say New York because I'm from New York. I walk really fast, and I noticed this when I moved to Florida too. Like, girl, are you rushing? Why are we rushing? Slow down. Slow down. What's the rush? What's the rush? Nothing's wrong with a little dilly dally. A little dilly dally. And so I even find that here, rechecking my pace. And some anxiety, like I said, that anxiety really subsided when I came here, because I realized that, like, in New York, it's very hustle culture. And I'm a hustler. And I be burnt out. I be burnt out, okay? And here, people are working hard to enjoy their lives. And people are simultaneously working hard and enjoying their life. Like, you can have both. You don't have to choose one. It's not a rush. It's a journey. You get to choose. You get to create. You get to co-create. You get to decide. Like, I'll say in the States, my anxiety, let's say a good 5, 6. It just depends on the circumstance. I was having no job. If anything, I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this extra time that I have? Like, I was a tour guide at one point, and then I was a receptionist, and I was also doing guided meditations, but I still had like this free time. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what do I want to do now? Which, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I can't complain about that. And even going back to the States, in the same circumstance where here I felt alive, I didn't feel undervalued. And a lot of that is like the pressure and expectations we put on ourselves, right? I didn't feel like a burden. And then going back to the States, literally same account, same circumstances, I did not feel the same. I felt shame. In some aspects, I felt shame. I felt very frustrated. and very embedded in that frustration. So yeah, the cultural expectations, the societal expectations, your expectations play a big part in that anxiety. And it was like a night and day. And I have a friend that also lives abroad. She's from California. She moved to Belize, and now she's still Belize, but she's doing her little country hopping. And we were experiencing similar things simultaneously. She had got laid off. She moved abroad. I remember she had ended up going back to the States after I was, and we were staying in communication. I remember just in terms of energetically, the shift, very noticeable, honey. This question is, any tips on finding work? Child, I wish I could tell you. I will say I do have a recruitment background, but I would really hate to get up on here and lie to you. Especially if you're in the U.S., right? The market in the U.S., honey, it's hard out here for me when you try to make this money for the rent. The cattle let the cash money speak for me a whole lot jumping shit. So the way that I was making money when I first came here, I was doing the tours. Although the tours themselves were free, I was getting tips and stuff like that from the tours. And like I told you, I had savings. Tips like that. I was getting tips from the tours. I was getting tips from the guided meditations. Now that I've come back, I found some remote contract work to do. And I think if you have transferable skills, whether you bartend or whatever it is that you do, bartend, yoga, etc., you can still find a way to offer your services and make money wherever you go. But I will say, look into the culture, look into the economy, things like that of the country, and you may have to get your residency to be able to work properly. But there are some things that are transferable that you should be able to easily find work, like some of the things I just mentioned. Otherwise, I say find work in your home country. See if you can find some remote work, something like that. And that's the only advice I got. To be honest, that's the only advice I got for right now. If that evolves or if that changes, I'll do an update. The next question is, you just picked up what you had, went on faith with $20, or what? So I did low-key just pick up what I had and go on faith, but I did sell stuff and put stuff in storage. And I made sure I had more than $20. And if I tell you anything, this is what I'm going to tell you. Don't leave your home country with nothing unless you want to be homeless in another country. Unless you want to be homeless in another country, I would not recommend that. I think it's foolish and irresponsible. That's my real opinion. That's my real opinion. And I said in the last video, there are some very low-cost ways so you can make your money stretch. But not too much, honey. Not too much. I'll be answering some more questions as I receive them, and hopefully these help. If you have any questions, like I said, go ahead and drop them in the comments, and I'll catch you next time on Zahara's Living, where self-care is sacred, life is intentional, and joy is non-negotiable. Peace.